Over these past few months, we've seen an influx of trade rumors spread throughout the NBA like wildfire. We're at the start of a new calendar year, so this is nothing new. A month out from the trade deadline is typically when the trade rumors start to really heat up. We've seen a bunch of names come up and then fizzle out, including Ja Morant, MPJ, and LaMelo Ball, just to name a few. But three names that have seemed to skyrocket up and maintain the headlines are Trae Young, Anthony Davis, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. In this video, I'm gonna dig into all three of these situations and break down whether or not it's even likely that these guys get traded at all, and what a realistic transaction would look like. It's that time of year again, folks. For the next month, we are all journalists and GMs, so let's at least try and do our jobs well. I'm going to start by getting the most interesting situation out of the way, and that's easily Giannis. The reason is the Bucks have showed no sign of doing literally anything with him. They are stuck in purgatory, just below 500, and have a roster full of just so-so players at best if you're excluding Giannis. So isn't that why Giannis wants out? Yes, his prime is being wasted, but the thing is, Giannis has never officially demanded a trade. It's all been rumors and kind of hearsay, but everyone knows he's unhappy in his current situation, but he has not formally approached the Bucks and told them that he wants out. Since that hasn't happened, the Bucks are kind of just spinning their wheels, still signing these so-so players and trying to make it appear as if they're in a win-now mode, when in reality, we all know this is not the case. They need to blow up the whole team, yes, Giannis included, and rebuild from scratch. That's obviously a tough pill to swallow, but it can't even start until Giannis demands out. Milwaukee is not tipping that domino themselves because they firmly believe they can keep him and just keep doing what they've been doing for the past 6 or 7 years. So Giannis Antetokounmpo will not be going anywhere before the trade deadline. That whole situation is really just flat out stupid. AD is such an interesting player in all of this because he may get caught up as a casualty in the Mavericks' attempt to build a young, highly talented squad around their new franchise player, Cooper Flag. Davis, another former champion whose name is currently on the trade block, was brought to Dallas a year ago in that infamous Luka trade and essentially has been exactly what most people expect from him this entire time. As of making this video, Anthony Davis has only played 27 games as a Maverick. He's been in and out of the lineup due to injury, no surprise there, and is averaging about 20 points, 10 rebounds, and just over 3 assists a game. Those are down numbers from when he was a Laker, but not by a ton. My point is, we all know exactly what you're getting with Anthony Davis. You can see where his ceiling is at with those numbers, and the floor is him not playing at all for long stretches of the season. This is not in the Mavs' best interest. They need spacing, and Anthony Davis is not shooting the 3-ball well. Once Kyrie returns from injury, he'll definitely help in this department, but it's not enough. The Mavs' long-term plan is to build a modern, well-spaced team around Flag. They need a team that can shoot the 3-ball well, which has been shown to be the recipe for championship basketball in the NBA these past few years. Anthony Davis doesn't really fit into that when you currently have the younger Gafford and Lively on the team. Chris Hayes is reporting that Dallas is expected to move AD before the trade deadline next month, but the question remains, who is seriously interested in trading for Anthony Davis? Toronto, Detroit, and Golden State have been named as the interested parties, but I'm not sure any of them holds what Dallas really wants: young, elite talent and/or high draft picks. Sure, these teams may have their fair share of young players that are showing long-term promise, but are any of those teams willing to part ways with them for Anthony Davis? Probably not. However, a new team has entered the conversation when it comes to interest in AD: the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks do have their eyes on Anthony Davis, but they've made it clear that their highly coveted first-round pick from the Pelicans, Jalen Johnson, and now even Zachary Richese are off the table. A deal between Dallas and Atlanta would most likely involve Porzingis and Kennard. There is one more player that the Hawks are trying to move, though, and that would be one Trae Young. Trae Young's trade situation isn't really about him wanting out. It's about how the NBA has changed around him. Across the league, teams have cooled off on small offense-first point guards who struggle on defense but make max money. Guys like Ja Morant and LaMelo Ball are in the same boat. The league is shifting towards size, defense, and balanced scoring, and Trae just doesn't fit that mold anymore. Atlanta's numbers tell the story. The Hawks are actually better without him on the floor. They've started to move on, and now they're working with Trae's camp to find a trade partner. The problem is his value isn't what it used to be. He's still a gifted playmaker, but his one-dimensional pick-and-roll heavy style doesn't match where the NBA is headed. So even though Trae wants a fresh start, finding a team that truly wants to build around him might be tougher than ever. So could an Anthony Davis for Trae Young trade be in the cards? Yes, but probably not straight up. Dallas really has no use for Trae Young, seeing they already have Kyrie Irving. This would require a third team to get involved, and the perfect team would actually be the Wizards. That's right, the worst team in the NBA. Mark Stein is reporting that the Wizards would be more than willing to take on Young's $90 million remaining on his contract. I guess this is what happens when you're the worst team in the league. So one of the most likely outcomes here is Washington receiving Trae Young and essentially trying him out for a little over a year. If he's a good fit, then they could decide to sign him for the long term. But to be honest, they're so bad that I think even I would be a good fit there. The Mavs would get their former player in Porzingis in either Ricochet or a first-round pick from Atlanta, and the Hawks would get an array of players that would most likely include some combination of Anthony Davis, CJ McCollum, and D'Angelo Russell. Now, how likely is any of this to happen? Not very. I'm sure Washington is waiting with open arms, but how willing would Dallas and Atlanta be to compromise on how they want their ongoing transformations to look like? That's the big question that this all hinges on. So the most likely outcome is nothing major happens before the trade deadline, and all of this waits until the offseason to see any real movement. But who knows? Teams go back on their word all the time, so I'd like to believe there is a legit chance that the NBA landscape could be reshaped to look like this. That's going to do it for this video. We want to hear your thoughts on where you think these players will end up. Let us know in the comments below. I also want to encourage you to join our Discord. It's 100% free, and it's the perfect place to talk ball every day. You can find that Discord link down in the description below, in addition to our social media links. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see new videos every week, and our weekly podcast that we live stream right here on the channel. I'll see you all around. Peace.